Welcome back to Alpha Recap, your after-hours walkthrough of the day's biggest market moves. I'm Riley, and with me is Jessica to unpack what mattered. As always, if you have questions, you can reach us at stockalpha.ai.
Thanks, Riley. Great to be here. Lots to dig into from today. Tech volatility, a wave of securities filings, and, yes, more AI-driven headlines.
Let's jump right in. Markets closed with notable tech weakness today, and a single name really set the tone. NVIDIA finished the day down about 3.5% to roughly $190, and it did that on heavy volume, about 143 million shares. That felt meaningful, right?
Absolutely. When a high-liquidity bellwether like NVIDIA trades on that kind of turnover, analysts read it as conviction behind the move, rather than light profit-taking. The combination of price decline and elevated volume tends to propagate volatility across semiconductor and tech ETFs.
So, what really stands out here is the potential for the move to ripple. Traders will be watching short-term technical levels around $190 and whether follow-through volume shows continuation or exhaustion.
Right. And there's a practical market mechanics angle. When a leader trades heavily, market makers widen spreads, quant funds recalibrate models, and that can magnify intraday moves in related names.
On the crypto front, we also saw heavy flows. The Bitcoin futures ETF slipped about 0.4% to roughly $8.61, but it changed hands heavily, about 137 million shares.
Data suggests that kind of volume with a modest price move flags dealer and retail activity, possibly conviction trades or portfolio rebalancing. Large volume moves in flagship instruments can widen spreads and stress execution across correlated strategies.
Short reaction. Quick follow-up. When those volumes stick around into the next session, it can presage broader correlation moves into equities and options books.
Yeah, that tracks.
Okay, shifting gears. There was a pretty notable cluster of legal activity today. Multiple securities fraud notices and solicitations surfaced across a range of sectors.
Analysts were pointing this out all day. Filings or solicitations touched crypto custody, telecom, coal mining, healthcare, and biotech. Names included BitGo, Cogent Communications, Peabody Energy, GE Healthcare, and Regeneron.
Walk me through why that matters. Is it the breadth or the timing?
Both. The breadth means multiple sectors were suddenly on scanners, and the timing, multiple solicitations the same day, can keep these names in the headlines for longer. Law firm solicitations often precede formal consolidated complaints, and those court filings are the catalysts that tend to move stocks.
And there were some specific lead plaintiff deadlines to watch, right?
Yes. For example, Cogent Communications listed a lead plaintiff deadline of September 21, 2026, and Regeneron had a deadline reminder of September 14, 2026. Those dates matter because they set the clock for who can step in and lead the case, and filings that follow will quantify alleged damages.
Short reactions.
Hold on, say that again?
Lead plaintiff deadlines shape the pace of consolidation in these suits, and that keeps names headline sensitive for weeks to months.
Which connects to trader behavior. Headline-driven volatility tends to persist because lawyers, plaintiffs, and media create a feedback loop. Analysts note court dockets are the clearest place to watch for next catalysts.
Healthcare had a mixed day too. Regulatory wins and setbacks.
Right. On the negative side, Aardvark Therapeutics remained under scrutiny after the FDA placed a clinical hold on its lead candidate. That stock had already plunged about 32% on May 15th, and law firm publicity kept attention on the issue today.
And on the positive side, Sichuan Kelun Biotech got a nod from China's regulator. The NMPA accepted a new indication filing for sacituzumab tirumotecan as a potential first-line therapy for advanced triple-negative breast cancer. That's the kind of regulatory advance that can turn into multi-year revenue if approved, though timing and commercial assumptions remain uncertain.
Exactly. Analysts often describe the biotech space as bifurcated right now. Big regulatory wins can be long-term drivers, while FDA holds or litigation can create immediate material downside. That increases dispersion and idiosyncratic risk in healthcare, especially for smaller names.
By the way, ADLM 2026 attracted about 17,000 attendees, and analysts noted diagnostics and screening advances there could feed midterm revenue into lab providers like Quest Diagnostics.
Conferences like that can be catalysts for product adoption discussions, partnerships, and pipeline validation over quarters, not days.
On the AI and cybersecurity front, there was a constructive headline. Cantor Fitzgerald raised its price target on Fortinet, citing AI-driven security demand. That one-line note reinforced the bullish narrative around AI security.
Analysts framed it as a thematic counterpoint to today's litigation noise. The idea is that enterprise spend is shifting toward AI-native features and governance, which would benefit specialized security vendors. The full research note wasn't public yet, so market participants were waiting for model assumptions and target rationale.
And Jessica, quick question. How should listeners think about these sell-side upgrades in the context of noisy markets?
When you step back and look at this, sell-side upgrades are one data point. They reflect analyst expectations for revenue or margin improvements tied to thematic demand. But in days with headline risk, litigation, heavy flows, regulatory moves, those upgrades can be overridden by short-term noise. Analysts note you need both the thesis and execution signals to matter over time.
Short reactions.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also saw some logistics and operational updates. National Airlines added a third Boeing 777-200 freighter, which signals incremental long-haul cargo capacity. Separately, Ship Sigma received a majority investment from Inverness Graham, highlighting AI-driven parcel routing as an investor theme.
And IAC and Adelphi reported about 1,056,980 man-hours without a lost time incident, a safety signal that can modestly lower operational risk and insurance exposure. Small operational wins like that can quietly reduce volatility in industrials over time.
Quick-fire updates. Very fast. Home Depot reorganized to emphasize professional customers. Cloud for Good acquired StackNexus, which affects partners in the Salesforce ecosystem. Quest Diagnostics flagged higher co-infection rates in bacterial vaginosis, which could modestly increase testing volumes.
Got it. Those are mostly signal events, important to watch in earnings or contract updates, but not immediate market movers by themselves.
Okay, Jessica, pull it all together for listeners. What were the big takeaways from today?
3 main takeaways. 1. Litigation and regulatory risk clustered across sectors today, which increases headline-driven volatility for affected names. 2. The AI and cybersecurity narrative stayed bullish. Sell-side activity on Fortinet and enterprise AI rollouts pointed to continued structural demand. 3. Tech liquidity events, especially heavy trading in NVIDIA and the Bitcoin futures ETF, amplified intraday moves and stressed execution, which market participants should monitor for persistence.
And a reminder on timing. Markets were closed for the trading day, so all of this is historical market action, not live trading calls.
Important point. Also, analysts note you should watch court dockets for follow-up filings, any company or regulator statements on clinical holds, and the details of the Fortinet research note when it drops.
Quick note on risk and advice. This episode is informational. It does not recommend buying, selling, or holding any security, and it is not personalized investment advice. Analysts note that headlines can move markets in the short term, and that court filings, regulatory decisions, and company disclosures are the likely next catalysts.
Exactly. If you need guidance tailored to your situation, consult a licensed professional.
Final quick watch list for tomorrow. NVIDIA price action and volume continuation. The full Cantor Fitzgerald note on Fortinet. Any new filings or lead plaintiff motions in the securities cases we flagged, updates from Aardvark or Hagens Berman on the clinical hold, and any NMPA requests or timing news from Sichuan Kellen Biotech.
And keep an eye on trading volumes in the Bitcoin futures ETF and other crypto-linked products. High flows there often precede correlation moves into adjacent asset classes.
All right, clear takeaways. Litigation clusters can lengthen volatility windows. AI security remains a structural theme, and big volume moves in market leaders can ripple across sectors. Not the quietest day.
Honestly, I was a bit surprised by the breadth of the legal activity, but that breadth is exactly why traders should stay attentive to court filings and deadlines.
If you have questions about anything we covered today, head to stockalpha.ai, where you can ask us directly and we'll answer live. For more market analysis and insights, visit stockalpha.ai.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back after the next market close to recap what moved markets and why.
Thanks, Jessica. And thanks to everyone who tuned in. We'll see you next time on Alpha Recap.